Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I thought I would talk about Japanese kanji and time. So I thought I'd start with a little question. When did mechanical time first arrive in Japan and how? Let's look at the answer. The answer is, let's find my pointer, Tenji Tenno, the year 600, and we use a pen here. So Tenji Tenno, Tenji Tenno, Tenno meaning emperor, Ten, of course, we see it both in the Tenji name and the Tenno name, meaning sky, indicating rule as well. It shows a hat and outstretched arms, showing political power. So Tenji Tenno. So he installed the Rokoku. Ro here means I forget you can't see my pen unless I write, so I'm going to change to the laser here. So here's a raw koku, the water, dripping water clock. Raw here means to lick. We can see it. Sanzui, three ticks here. Sanzui meaning three waters, indicating something to do with water or flow. So this raw, it's kunyomi, native Japanese reading as the verb moreru, to leak. So the water leaks, and koku here. Koku is often used in, you can see it in jidaigeki period films and whatever else, in place of ji meaning hour. It was often used as a counter for hour, but it also is the verb form kizamu, to carve. And we can see here rito. This is its bushu, its main component, ri indicating a blade. So its original meaning is to carve, as in to carve out the hours of a day, therefore indicating hours. And it's also a mizu toke. Mizu meaning water, and toke is a reading for a clock. Ji is the most common kanji we now see in modern Japanese for an hour, which here we have on the left. We have its hen, hihen, meaning sun. This part here, hi, meaning day or sun, and the tsukuri, which we call the right part of a kanji here, is actually the character for otera, a Buddhist temple, which I'm going to write it here with my pen if I can. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little dots. Okay, so Ji, that means temple. So the remains of Tenji Tenno's water clock from by the year 16, by the way, the year 670 rather. 670. So some remains believed to be of the clock have actually been found at Asuka Temple in the city, or small town now, of Asuka in Nara Prefecture, which was Tenji Tenno's capital at that time, the late 600s. So it's possibly fitting that the character for hour, G, time, contains this character for temple, because it's where the first Japanese mechanical clock was used, or was installed. Okay. Anyway, I have on the left side, in order of from smallest here to longest, some time kanji here. So the first one here I have is byo, second, and we can see its bushu, its main component on the left is nogi, nogihen. Nogihen indicates grains. Okay, grains. I'm going to keep it with my pointer. Okay, so nogihen here on the left indicates grains. and the right that it's good. It could just be symbolizing a sound, but it likely symbolizes a hand too. Grains falling through a hand, indicating a very small period of time. Up on top here we have ji, meaning hour, which we talked about before, and up here we have hi, nichi, indicating a day, which this comes from the kanji character for sun. Okay, you have to be careful when we write this one that we're writing. See if I get my pen again. When we're writing this one, that we're not putting a part on the top, because that would be white. Okay, it's not very good when I write it on the computer, but here we go. Haku or shiroi, meaning white, so be careful. No check. Okay, so that you don't get confused here. Let's see if I can erase this one. Okay, there we go. But then on top of that, we have, back to my pointer, on top we have getsu, meaning month, getsu, gatsu, or tsuki, meaning moon. It comes from the word moon, and it means month, which makes sense because Japanese was a lunar calendar. Or if you look over here on the left, you see Inreki, Yoreki, a lunar, solar calendar, a lunar calendar. And there's a pictogram indicating the shape of the moon. On top of this, we have Nen, or Toshi, meaning year. And on top of this, I have so first a not so frequently encountered kanji combination, go, and en. Go means a indefinitely long amount of time. En is more commonly translated as eternity. So its busho, its component is water. Of course, we want to write water, and change my pen again. I'm going to write water. 1, 2, 3. Water. So with it, en 1, 2, 3, 4. So indicating eternity. It's not so good the way that I write them, but there we are. I'm sure you get the point. Indicating eternity. That's the long flowing of a river, basically. Water that continues on. It's quite symbolic. The idea that a river constantly flows, but it's never the same water. Very famous Kamakura period Japanese essay, the Hojoki, talked about that. Yugukawa no nagare taizu shite motto no mizu ni arazu. Actually, it's a mistake, yeah. But anyway, never the same water. So long time, and en means far. So en, eternity. Yeah. On the right, you have koyomi. Koyomi is the kunyomi, meaning calendar, and reki is its onyomi. So when they're put together, they usually form the onyomi combination. Here you have inreki, yoreki, in meaning darkness. If you know the yin and yang, the yin and yang is in your in Japanese. Actually, the calendars were made by the yin yang diviner experts known as the omyoji. Myoji, if I can. It knows the omyoji. Yeah. So yeah, inreki, yoreki. If you've ever watched any anime set in the Heian period in Japan, you will likely come across Abe no Seimei, the famous onmyoji who became quite legendary. Lived in Kyoto at that time. Yes, if you go, you can visit where rough area where he lived and everything else. Anyway, Jikoku meaning time. So as I mentioned before, Ji meaning time with Hihen and Otera temple, and Koku meaning to carve together, forming time, hours. Underneath, I have a phrase that you'll often hear in Jidaigeki or period pieces, ikoku mo hayaku, to do something really quickly, do something without hesitation, ikoku mo hayaku, do something very, down the bottom here. I have a little phrase that I find very interesting. It's Fune ni kizamite kena motomu. Okay, so this is a koji seigo. It's an old expression coming from Chinese. Fune means a boat. Kizamu is the old form of the verb, or kizamite rather is the old te form of the verb kizamu, which in modern Japanese would be, in its te form, would be kisande. So kisande, due to changes in sound, it's gone from kizamite to kizande. It's a te form, it's a continuous form. Ken or motomu. It may be difficult to see this one here, but yeah, motomu, take out my pen, it means to crossing a river. Man is crossing a river in a boat. He drops a sword, ken, into the river without panicking. Well, maybe panicking a little, I don't know, but he carves kisamite, carves on the boat the spot where he dropped the sword, and to look for it later. Motomeru is the modern Japanese to look for. Maybe you can't see that, so I'm going to try and write it here really quick. Motomeru looked like this. 1, 2. This, yeah, so it's not very good, but so yeah, motomu. So of course the river is always flowing. It doesn't stop. So what this phrase means is to stick to outdated ways of thinking. I find it very interesting to think a person drops a sword into a river, carves a notch on a boat, and thinks, "Oh, it's okay, I'll find it later." So I find that to be quite an interesting story. But of course, the river represents time, I believe. So time waits for no man, as we say in English. It just keeps flowing. And of course, the sword sunk anyway. So, but anyway, so it's just an interesting little. It's a Yojijuku, a 4-character combination. So, of course, it follows the Japanese. It follows the Chinese grammar structure read in the Japanese pronunciation of the Old Chinese. So, Puneni Kizamete Keno Motomu would be Kokushu Kyuken. In this case, Koku written like this. This is our word for the word for carve. Koku. And, I'm going to write it vertical. Kokushu. Shu, word for boat. This Kokushu, and Q, Motomeru is the modern form. And Ken, Q, Ken, Kokushu, Q, Ken. I just cheated a bit there. Okay, Kokushu Kyuken. I'm going back to my pointer. So it's important to remember this is following the Chinese grammar structure when it's written as a Yojijuku, a 4-character combination. And it's following the following the old Japanese structure when it's written as a Koji Sego, an old expression. So Chinese grammar, the object comes after the verb, whereas Japanese is the opposite. So fune ni kizamite, kenemotomu, fune being the object, kisamu being the verb to carve, kenemotomu can being sword, the object, and the motomu to search for. So koku, shu, kuken. You may have seen, if you ever look at old writing, you may have seen the reten marks, which indicate the order of which something's read. So quite a bit of detail into it, but basically on the left-hand side there are markings to show you the order of which something should be read when it's written in the original Chinese. And most common is reten. So re, just katakana re indicates skip this one, come back to it. Okay, so you see the reten. Okay, skip fune ni kisamite. Again, skip kinemotomo. Okay, so it's just a little expression that I find quite interesting. A koji sego and a yojijukugo from old Chinese. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you like, please come back for more. Subscribe, like, whatever. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again. Thank you.